Hey guys, alright, let's do a trade recap of today. I didn't trade that long. This is only about a 20-minute session, and I just called it a day. There was tons of more trades I could have taken, but some days, you guys, it's better just to shut it down and, you don't have to concentrate anymore once you've, made your RR for the day that, maybe you're satisfied with. As you guys know, normally I try and go for 10 RR. Today I think was just slightly under that. I think it was 8R booked, I think. But let's go through the price action. So this is basically where I got onto the charts at 7 a.m. this morning with the 15-minute view. So one thing I started seeing, you guys, is that we had created block flow here, as you can see, all the way down to a new low, which price action should have done. That makes perfect sense why it would do that. And then we had our first change of character and our order flow shifting. Now, this area is unmitigated, so it makes sense why price reacted off here. However, the demand down here, you guys, held. And what ended up happening here is all of these candles here represent a lower time frame trend, okay? And that's internal liquidity for the external demand down here, okay? And what typically happens when you see stuff like that is this will get wiped and then it will go like this. I didn't get into the buy, as you guys saw. I got into the flip zone buy here. But let's go through the price action for me. Let's break it down on the 1 minute and see if there's anything that people who trade in the group the 1 minute would have caught. So immediately what I started drawing, guys, is obviously we have a trend line. And like I said, this is trend line liquidity, okay? This typically just gets run because, what do I say in my videos? It's all mitigated. There's nothing that's not mitigated other than here, okay? And so when we start to see that, what I'm looking for, you guys, on the lower time frames is I'm looking for price to choose its direction, okay? And how do I know when it's going to choose its direction? Well, typically what will happen, you guys, is price will start to respect demand. It will take some form of liquidity, and then it will break the previous demand that took the liquidity. And when the demand starts to fail, okay, then I know it's coming down here, okay? And so let's go on the 1 minute and see if there's an entry. So what do we have here, right? So sell to buy, internal liquidity. Okay, same as this is internal liquidity for the bigger range. This is internal liquidity for this range of price action. Therefore, price comes back down, wipes it, and continues on its way, and it takes out the liquidity here on the lower time frame I was looking at, right there. So once that happens, I'm looking for basically price to start failing. Now on the 1 minute, I don't know if you would have got a trade. Let's see. So it still hasn't created a wick. Okay, so on the 1 minute, we do have this supply. We do have this demand that rallied price higher. So this is your change of order flow, and then we can look for price to come back into this area. My stop loss was a 2 pip stop loss, so this is a little big. Let me just go back to the 15-minute charts here, guys. And I had taken this area here. So let's go through the price action of when I entered and why I wanted to enter. So what I'm starting to see here is this is demand. Okay, price respected it. This is demand. Price took out this liquidity and price broke it. To me, that is now my entry. That is my confirmation that price is not respecting demand, and instead we've taken out the internal liquidity that price was looking for, and there's all this external liquidity that price wants to get to most likely go higher due to the fact that we have breaks of structure happening. Boss, boss, boss. So we start to see this break of structure padding, and in order to break over this high, we need some sort of liquidity, okay? So let's go through the entry. So I basically entered right there. Stop loss was at this high, so 2.5 pip. I think I had slightly lower than that, but regardless, that's the entry, and price proceeded to fall. Now, I wasn't, there's things that I was doing, and I wasn't really that interested in a buy yet. As I told you guys, I closed at the demand. I figured this would hold price. Now, there ended up not really being an entry it kind of just took off. If you were on the 5-second chart, there would have been an entry. Once demand hit right here, the 5-second entry was right here. So this gap here on the 5-second, okay, there's your drop, base drop, change of order flow, boom, price goes off and runs. I wasn't looking at the 5-second today. There's a few things I had going on, and quite frankly, this already made 4% for the day, so I was quite pleased with that trade. Now, when price started taking off though and just like not returning, I was actually interested to see what would happen here. Now, why did I get into a buy? Well, we have to understand that price is creating block flow. And like I tell you guys, when price starts to create block flow, okay, it's going to start forming price action. Now, originally I was thinking we'd sell, okay? We took out this liquidity, we had this rally-based rally, and we sold. However, what is the order block, you guys, that was responsible for breaking, sorry, it's not an H4, but what was the area that was responsible for breaking this? And that would have been this last OB. So you have an order block here, okay? So what I ended up seeing is I was very tempted to short from here, but when this came down, okay, and price came back up, and it failed to then take out this OB, I figured we were going higher, and that there was something left unmitigated or some sort of other liquidity that price wanted to get. And on the 15-minute, it's not as clear. I did have this runner to keep running just to see if it goes up all the way up here. But you can see that we do have liquidity up here. And let's go to a different time frame. So probably on the 12-minute. So, I mean, there's an unmitigated really OB up here. Just going to try and find the cleanest one for you guys. So basically right here. Okay, so from the push of London, all of this basically acted as trendline liquidity. It got wiped, and then we had this leftover unmitigated area up here. So when price on the 15-second, you guys, held this OB for me, I was then interested in price not breaking this low. Okay. So I got into a pretty aggressive scalp here, and price came into it, and as you guys saw, it did not break that low, and it shot up and hit my TP very, very quickly. I took like 80-90% off this trade and let some run, but I got what I wanted out of the marketplace in terms of that. That's a 2-pip stop loss. 1 to 8 RR trade, only took 0.5%, so 4%. So, you know, we pretty much got our 10R, that's 16R, but it was really about 8R in terms of percentages. So, yeah, that's the trade breakdown, guys. Now, in terms of how you could have gotten to the trade that hit into the unmitigated supply up here, is effectively you don't really know officially. Okay, you don't really know officially until prices breaks this. However, you guys can clearly see here that we have an up thrust, and then we have another rally-based rally that takes out this high. So we have a nice trend happening. All of a sudden, price breaks that trend, and where's the sell to buy that broke that trend? So there's your reaction zone right there. And you could have shorted from that. I definitely would have shorted from that if I wasn't done for the day. And I would have probably done something like this, and I at least would have scalped to this and then maybe left some run. But price then starts creating block flow, guys, and it starts to form. And, you know, once it creates this other low, pretty much right there, now you've got order blocks being created. Okay, and so price starts to respect the block flow of these order blocks, and we can start looking at these order blocks as potential zones of just selling pressure. And so that's how you could have got into a bit more of a confirmed trade with this low being taken here with the retest into the order block. But if you really wanted a risk entry up here on this extreme, once this low goes to, you could have looked at that order block. So lots of trade opportunities in this leg of price action, you guys. And then what do we have here? We have our flip zone that was responsible for basically this order flow change. And then you could have been looking for the continuation kind of in this zone or into the fair value gap. And then you just look for your order flow change again, and you have an order flow change. And so you could have been looking at these areas here to buy from if price ends up coming down there. I kind of got off the charts, but so yeah, so price ended up actually going a little lower than that. So that might have been a loss. And then we do have another order flow change right here, and then this OB holding, and again we're into this flip zone area. So both of those areas would have been areas that you definitely could have bought from. Okay, so you would might take one loss, and then this would have been a really nice trade, especially if you got into the buy and the sell. So hopefully that was helpful, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.